Hey everybody, KC here. So it's been interesting reading about the travails of Wonder, which was the new startup from Marc Lore, who, as we all know, started Quidsi and diapers.com and then sold that to Amazon and then left Amazon. And when his non-compete was up, he started jet.com and then he sold that to Walmart. And then he ran Walmart's e-commerce business for a long time. And then he left Walmart. And then one of the things he did is he started up this thing called Wonder. Now, I think he's also building this experimental community to the future somewhere out in the desert. But Wonder was the one that really kind of interested me because basically the idea was that he was going to create this fleet of vans and there were going to be commissaries that were going to prepare food and that you could order. And then the commissaries would they would give them to the vans and the vans would take them to wherever they were delivering them, but they would also do the finishing work in the van and then deliver the product. So you're getting a really fresh, really fresh chef prepared product from Wonder. Okay. And it was a high-end product and they'd raised a lot of money and they were valued at something like $3.5 billion. Really big deal. And, but, like a lot of tech companies and a lot of companies these days, because the economy has not been kind, basically they're in a situation where they're laying employees off and they are selling their vans and they're kind of switching to what they're calling basically a ghost kitchen model. Plus they're doing some B2B work in which they're licensing out their technology to other companies. And, I actually think this is kind of a shame. I was kind of interested in what they were doing. It seemed like a really interesting hybrid to me. I also think it's important to remember, and sometimes we all forget this, at least people in my business sometimes forget it because we view it as sort of an abstract thing because it's their business, it's not our business. But people actually lose their jobs and people get hurt when these things happen. Not because anybody has done anything wrong, but just because the market changed. I actually got an email from a Wonder employee the other day, which said, I was an employee at Wonder who got laid off. He said they danced around the layoffs in my department for as long as they could. I was part of the fleet maintenance department, and we kept the maintenance part of the fleet in compliance. We worked long hours, busted our behinds to maintain the fleet, and we all did our parts very well. So it's unfortunate that so many of us have been let go, not on our own accounts, but parting was sad. There are real people out there who are damaged when these things happen. But I also find myself thinking back. I know at one point I was, I guess I was unimpressed with something that Marc Lore was doing. I can't remember exactly what it was. And I said that Marc Lore's problem was that Jeff Bezos is Jeff Bezos and Marc Lore wants to be Jeff Bezos, which is a pretty funny line, I thought at the time. It was also overly glib, right? And probably not really fair. And so I'm apologizing for that right now. Not that Marc Lore gives a damn what I say. But I think that, you have to have respect for these people who go out there. They put their reputations on the line. They work really hard. And they try and come up with something that's new. I feel bad that Wonder has not worked in its previous incarnation. But Marc Lore's reputation and his track record would suggest he's probably not done yet. And I hope whatever he does next, whether it's to figure out a new permutation for Wonder or comes up with something else new, I hope it all works out. Because not just for him, but it'll make the business better, it'll be good for consumers, and it'll employ people. And that's always a good thing. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.